Hello and welcome to Discipline for Dummies. This is a potential multi-part series that I am creating to help people who are maybe intimidated from starting in a gym but understand that they want to start building healthy habits and benefit from exercise. So ultimately for people who want to start making a positive change in their lives by shedding the bad habits and building positive, constructive new ones. This is going to give you a framework to do that, as well as allowing you to understand how to get out your comfort zone, as modern life loves to keep us in it, except when we are getting paid. In order to have a good life, you probably have to get out your comfort zone in ways that you're not getting paid for also. So, all you're going to really need is a floor and maybe a stretch of road. And in this video, I will be covering exercise selection, how to scale these exercises, so intensifying them once you get used to them, how to enforce the habit. This is also a bit about mindset and how to develop the mindset of good habit building, as well as when you can potentially start looking into moving into the gym. Starting with exercise selection, the first step is the hardest, but it's important to not overthink it. You pick a bodyweight exercise you want to improve at, and it can be done in roughly 5 to 10 minutes. You can even do a few extra bodyweight exercises on top of this. You don't need dumbbells, you don't need a bench, you don't need any other equipment apart from yourself and the floor. If you are specially abled, I am not qualified to help you in figuring out this. Just that disclaimer. So, this video is for otherwise healthy-ish individuals, able-bodied. You get the gist. So, the reason why I want it to be possible for you to do within 5 to 10 minutes is so you can just add it into your routine. You can do this before you brush your teeth in the morning, before you make your coffee in the morning, or whatever it is, the first set of activities you do before you go about your day. So exercises such as push-ups, sit-ups, crunches, lunges, even burpees. I used to very much enjoy my burpees. You also want a form of cardio. The main thing I'm going to recommend as a form of cardio, especially when you're beginning and you don't really do cardio apart from just walking. Sprint from one end of your road to the next as fast as you can. You'll probably notice a difference in that sprint within a month of doing it repeatedly 4 times a week. You'll probably notice it within 2 weeks. It will be a lot easier. Main thing is you want your heart rate to increase. You want to be out of breath by the time you finish a sprint. That is how you know it's doing something. So the intensity will eventually need to be increased, as I have already stated. That's part of the content in this video, so I'll touch upon that in a second. But starting, your exercise regime should look a little something like this. Alright, so here's what it'll look like. I'm really hoping this camera will flip that around. My God. If not, that's embarrassing. So, if it hasn't flipped this around, I will just explain what is on here. We have got 2 sets of 10 push-ups, 1 minute plank, 1 set of 10 burpees, and 1 lap of a sprint. Preferably it's 75 to 100 meters. It doesn't have to be exact. Like I said before, the main thing you want is to be out of breath by the end. So, now, this isn't what you have to do, okay? This is to give you an idea of how you can set it up. If you want, you could do 3 sets of 10 push-ups, 1 minute plank, no burpees, and 2 lap sprint, or 5 laps of sprint. It really depends on what you want. Do you want to build a bit of muscle, start developing a bit of strength? You can put more resistance exercise, more body weight exercise. You can put for bloody, what's it? We got 10 push-ups. You can put another set in there. You can put crunches in there. You can put handstand push-ups. But if you're someone who, is not very comfortable going to the gym, don't bother doing handstand push-ups. You might not have the strength for it, especially if you're overweight. Yeah. So that's just to give you a general idea of how you will want your beginning routine. Write it up, write it down somewhere, and put it in your calendar to do this. I say you want to do it about 4 times a week. If you want to do it, if you find you can do it every day, even better. You'll probably get the habit of doing it way quicker if you do it every single day and recover from it. But recovery is going to be a whole other video entirely. You want your program that you have created for yourself to also give you a sense of accomplishment. So giving yourself something that is so easy, which, you might not feel the sense of accomplishment from it, but if you want to instill the habit of regularly doing the exercise, okay, make it as easy as possible for you. If you really struggle with starting, if you're really in a hard place mentally, maybe you have depression or something, 10 push-ups. Just start with 10 push-ups. If you can't do 10, make it a number you can do, but do it. Just do it. You wake up and you do it. It is a start. I was once a very depressed person, very anxious, and very miserable. It can start. It just has to start. You just have to start, honestly. Yeah. Next, so on to scaling the exercises. In my opinion, this will probably be the easiest part. It is going to kind of happen a little bit naturally, if you know what I mean. You will want to start intensifying the exercise yourself because you will start to notice they become easier. The 10 push-ups you've started doing, or you can now do 11 push-ups. I also would say, don't treat that set of that specific number as a commandment you have to follow. You can add more. If you are capable of doing more and getting more stimulus out of your body, do it. When it comes to my own exercise now, if I am doing a chest press, any exercise really, I crank out all the reps I can. If my rep range that I've been given is 10 to 15, and I get to 15 and I go, I've got 2 more in. I go for the 2 more, and then increase the weight next week so that I get it within that rep range. So if you can do more of the exercise, just go for it. That is a good sign. That is actually what you want. Oh, don't mind me, my script just went off, so let me turn that back on. I should change the refresh on my thing and get a pair of glasses. Da, 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 da. Yep, so as I said, for example, after a week or two, you may find that your planks feel a bit easier before, so you add another 30 seconds. You can also use the same principle for your cardio. So if you find after a week also that your sprint is easier, add an extra lap, increase the distance. You can play with that as many ways as you want, as long as you're doing more work. Just go for it, man. Just go for it. Honestly, that will be, at the end of the day, this is for you. So, it's for you and the people in your life. So next, my script. Another fun little way you can intensify your exercise. Decrease your rest periods in between sets. So let's say, for example, between your push-ups, you have a minute rest. Swap it to 30 seconds if you don't want to do more push-ups, or another set, and just carry on. So back to what I was saying. Let's say you've been doing this now for 2 weeks. It has become easier. You can now add sets to your push-ups, add a minute to your plank, increase the amount of sets of burpees. So I'm going to just quickly show you what your updated plan will look like. So now we have got 2 sets of 15 push-ups, or you can do 3 sets of 10 push-ups. And we have now got a 1 minute and 30-second plank, 2 sets of 10 burpees, and now 2 laps of a sprint. So this is now just an idea of what increasing the intensity of your exercise will look like. You can go further from there, add more laps, add more exercises even. If you find that now, you've taken your 5-minute workout into a 10-minute workout. Brilliant, because all you've just done is double what you were doing for the 5 minutes, and you've advanced, and that's easy for you. Well done. That is what you want to be doing. If you get to the point where you carry on scaling that, you basically have to then start going to a gym. You will need to, because you're not gonna. You can do this as much as you want. If you're still uncomfortable, you don't have to. But I recommend, if your goal is to look better, then you can start going to the gym and start learning about resistance training. I'll probably start popping videos on my channel about resistance training and how to approach it. Enforcing the habit. So this is about the mindset you need to go into your exercise with. Okay? So, what I am referring to is how we ingrain the behavior into your mindset. A habit is likely to be instilled with 40 days of doing an activity continuously. This goes the same for bad habits such as smoking, drinking, etc. So to get out of them, you will do this process I'm going to explain to you in reverse, but that is also another video entirely. So you as a human have this innate desire to conserve energy. Energy is precious. So the way you override this desire of being lazy and conserving your energy is by instilling a habit. Once you've instilled the habit, it is going to be much harder to fall out of doing it. You are used to it. In fact, you don't feel right if you don't do the habit now. So if you keep up your exercise routine, if let's say you are doing it 4 times a week, do that for 5 weeks. Force yourself to do it for 5 weeks continuously. Then try to not do it. Go one morning and decide, I'm not going to. You might feel a sense of laziness, or just, if you've not been recovering, you will feel great, but it will feel alien to you then. It's because we've instilled the habit. So, another thing I want to talk about is your thoughts when going about your exercise. Exercise and such, these are, for it to be beneficial, it has to be hard. You don't want to do hard things, but you have to do hard things. So your mindset, reinforce the thought that you have to do this while you are partaking in your exercise. I want you to notice how you feel if you don't partake in the program. Do you feel like you've cheated on something, or that you have forgotten something? When the exercise you are doing is difficult and you want it to stop, remind yourself why you're doing it. How would you feel if you weren't? And that you're sacrificing, by not doing it, the sense of accomplishment you could be feeling from doing it. Another thing to think about while you're doing it, and you're not enjoying it. Oh, I'm exercising, I'm not enjoying it. Okay. You will eventually like it. It feels great. You're literally it's a form of expression at the end of the day. But you're not doing it. Think, what would you be doing better with your time? Especially if it's a simple 5 minutes of your morning, what would you be doing better? Scrolling on your phone? A lot of people say they don't have time for exercise. Understandable if you've got a business and kids. But if you still spend most of the evening scrolling for an hour or plus, you've got the time, you've got something better to do. You've got exercise, you've got taking care of your life, which is then going to allow you to take better care of your kids, your family. I've met plenty of people who do have a little form of time, they have a small amount of time, but they choose not to. They are above it or whatever. I'm going off topic. When you're doing your exercise, your brain releases positive chemicals like dopamine and other endorphins, which will reinforce your sense of reward. If you imagine the mice in a lab, and they go to a thing and it gives them cocaine, which is just dopamine. Treat exercise, you're the rat and the exercise is the cocaine, okay? This is a weird neuroscience analogy for it, but yeah. Your exercise is going to give you positive feelings, so long as you aren't doing other things such as drinking, smoking, blah, 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 other things that are increasing your dopamine, giving you dopamine from nothing. This will allow you to build a habit. So I'd recommend starting to go to the gym. Once you have a dedicated chunk of time, you've scaled your exercise enough, you are doing 25 plus minutes of exercise, you can start going to the gym for maybe more specialist exercise, we'll say. Hopefully, this video has given you a good idea on how to start making the positive changes in your life. And with that freedom, you'll acquire from the discipline. This may also have been a bit of a rambling at the camera, but if it's helped anyone, I'm glad I made it. Because to be honest, when I first started making the video, I was getting very frustrated at myself and not talking very properly, so I hope this has been good enough. And the editing has not been too terrible. And if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them. Call me a dumbass if you like. Go for it. I do not really care. But if you have any further questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments. If you actually did enjoy this video, hit like. And yeah, till the next time.